Buenos dias, I'm Emily. I'm a current senior at School Year Abroad Spain. I'm from New York, and I will be taking you today on a day of my life. Lucia Monique, what was the transition like from the U.S. to Spain?
I think that it was really scary because all of us were scared to come to a place where we didn't know, a culture we didn't know, and a language we didn't know. But I think that since we all had that shared feeling, it was easy for us to connect with each other in the language and the culture. Yeah.
Hola, Soler. ¿Puedes explicar su clase en casi 15 segundos?
Creatividad, interés y diversión. Y no aburrirse nunca.
Perfecto. Hey Andrew, what's the best part of living in Spain?
One of my favorite parts about living in Spain, or like the best part, is just being able to honestly walk everywhere around the city. Like back where I'm from, I have to drive to get to any place, but here you can literally walk, take public transportation. Like it's so easy to get around, and that's really.
Since today is a project meeting day, all we're doing today is talking to our teachers about our capstone project, so I figured I'd explain to you a little bit about the projects that you'll have while in Spain. If you're a full year or a first semester student, you will have a mid-year project, which is basically where you choose any topic you like in Zaragoza that kind of has a personal connection to you, and you kind of research a little bit more about it, and it's pretty broad. For example, I did mine on my flamenco classes, and I did it on the cultural aspects of flamenco and the popularity between flamenco and more modern dances in Zaragoza and among the youth. Because I've been dancing since I was in 4th grade, and I figured it would be a really fun opportunity to learn about a cultural dance of Spain while taking classes of that cultural class, and I got to interview people who taught the class, which I found really interesting. And in the next slide, I'll talk about our capstone. So like your mid-year project, your capstone project is basically going to have a personal connection to you and a connection to your community, something that you wanted to learn more about, but this time, instead of it being really general, you have to relate it to a specific class, and it has to be a specific topic. So the topic that I ended up choosing is how the process of reintegration works in Zaragoza for convicted criminals, because when I go to college, I'm going to be majoring in criminology for my pre-law track with a minor in philosophy. So my personal connection is that this is what I'm going to be studying for the next 4 years of my life and beyond if I go to law school. So in this sense, I get to go to different law offices and police stations and talk about the criminal process and how reintegration affects the community and criminals after they leave jail, and if it's just a concept or if they're really taking action to make change in this community.
Oscar, what's your favorite thing about Spain?
Tortilla de patata.
So normally we eat lunch at Compañía de María, which is a local Spanish high school, but today, since we had our capstone meetings, we could leave early once our meeting was done and go wherever we wanted for lunch, so we chose Fruitolandia, sandwiches, and smoothies. Okay, so typically it kind of depends on what family you get. Most of the time, like for me and Trevor.
Mine barely speaks English.
Mine don't speak English.
My host sisters do speak English.
So yeah, it really kind of just depends, but mostly no. Okay, so we had 3 people who packed very differently all 3 times, so here's 3 tips.
So either you follow the list or you do what I did. So what I did is that I'm very indecisive, and I overpacked by way too much. So when we had winter break, I begged my parents to bring a duffel when they came, or if you're going home, bring clothes that you don't want to wear. And I just filled a whole duffel of clothes I didn't wear, which was mostly summer clothes, because you're here for the winter, and I didn't bring as much winter clothes.
Yeah, I would say
bring a jacket.
Pack
you need a jacket.
strategically, because I packed like
Use
a bunch
packing
of
cubes.
Yeah, I packed a bunch of stuff that like I didn't even
And you're gonna buy clothes, like, that's a given.
I would say definitely pack really light because everything here is so much cheaper than in the States, and you're going to buy clothes. So definitely, like, if you don't think you need it, if you don't think you're gonna wear it, if it's like a maybe, just don't pack it. You'll find something better at like a Bershka, which is down the street from the school.
Follow the list too.
Follow the list.
Really
Follow the list.
It can.
Allison's the only one who lives far, so she's gonna answer this one.
Okay, so for me, it's not that bad. My bus still runs like normal on the weekends, and because I live far out, we get 15 minutes extra for curfew. So for example, instead of having to get home by midnight, we can get home by 12:15, which is helpful because we have to take the bus and wait.
So for SY Spain specifically, I find that it really depends on the day. On Wednesdays, we have something called Trabajo de Campo, in which we basically go on field trips every Wednesday, or we dedicate that day to exploring the city and discovering more about the people of Zaragoza. And then on Fridays, we also have half days, so we end at 2 right after lunch, so you have all that time to go wherever you want.
Yeah, and then on a normal day, school's out at 4:30, and you have till 8, which is our curfew, to hang out with friends, do extracurriculars, do whatever you want, and yeah, it's fun.
I find that almost every day.
We have ample time.
Yeah, we're out right now. Yes, we all have classes together. I'm a senior and these two are juniors, and I have a whole bunch of classes with them. But I find that the curriculum is structured in a way that we're all being academically challenged and pushed to better ourselves in whatever way we can. So I just met up with Kendall because we're going to get traditional Aragonese food for dinner tonight because her grandparents are in town.
Yay!
Okay, so I'm here with my host siblings, Vera y Guillermo, and I have questions for you. Así que, ¿cuál es tu parte favorita de tener una hermana estadounidense?
Pues yo, mi parte favorita es que te enseña otros estilos de música, no sé, como otra forma en la que viven ellos. No sé cómo explicarlo.
Pues diferentes formas de hablar, expresiones que tienen allí que en España son completamente diferentes.
Perfecto. ¿Y es tu primer año con SYC?
Sí, es mi primer año.
¿Y tu experiencia es?
La verdad que bastante cómodo. No sé, muy guay todo, la verdad. Me parece muy moderno todo.
¿Y también?
Sí.
¿Te gustó? Perfecto. Okay, so now I'm just writing down a whole bunch of questions, so I'm not completely spamming this story so I can answer them all at once. So here we have what we do on school breaks. For me, I've gone outside the country for all of them, but for that you do need an adult. I went to France during Christmas with my family, and during spring break, I'm going to Mallorca with 2 of my friends and their family. So I needed an adult to bring me, or you can travel with your friends in Spain alone. The average level of students when they come into Spain in Spanish honestly completely ranges. We have people who are like completely fluent and people who pretty much knew nothing. And by the end of the year, everyone can hold their own in a conversation. Honestly, do not worry if you're not good at Spanish. I was horrible at Spanish and I'm doing fine. How many students are there? There's about 65 to 70 at a time, and about 15 of those students are going to be semesters. And they'll be like switched out for second semester. And how many sophomores? Off the top of my head, I can think of about 5, but I'm just guesstimating. Okay, so I got this one and what my favorite extracurricular is a lot, so I'm gonna answer them both here. We have a wide variety of extracurriculars. If you want it, SY can get it for you. If we don't have it already, like we will find a way to get it for you. We have sports, we have stuff like boxing, track with local schools, soccer with local schools if you want to. We have ceramics, cooking classes, a whole bunch of dance classes, flamenco, hip hop, ballet, salsa, whatever you want. And my favorite personally is my salsa class, which I have videos of that I can post. That is honestly, if I could recommend anything in the world, I would recommend the salsa class. It is so much fun. It's like my favorite day of the week is Tuesday because there's salsa. And SYA does pay for it for you. You get a limited amount of money and you can spend it however you wish on whatever you want, which is awesome. One of the things I like most about SYA is that I don't feel like I'm repeating the same day over and over again every day. That it feels like there's something new and exciting happening, which is definitely a change from my old life. So I figured I could just explain my week. On Mondays and Thursdays, I always have a late day with my schedule, which is great because I get to sleep in a little because class starts at 9:35. And school ends at 4:20 and curfew is at 8, so you have all that time to hang out with your friends. Fridays, we also have a half day, so school ends at 2 p.m. instead of 4:20, which is great. You get to go out to eat with your friends, and the school gives you $10 to do so. And Wednesdays, we have Trabajo de Campo, which is basically our weekly field trips. So if that ends early, you can go hang out. And our field trips are always different, and they're always exciting, which I really like. And extracurriculars, I found actually pretty easy to balance because I found that I signed up for stuff that I really enjoyed doing with my friends. So it felt more like hanging out and doing stuff we like. Okay, so I absolutely love this question, and I definitely have two main things I wish I would have known beforehand personally. Number one is definitely do not stress out about your Spanish usage. I was so stressed the whole time leading up to like getting on that plane and even being on that plane, not knowing how I was going to communicate, how I was going to understand classes. But I promise you, it all works out after the first 1 to 2 months, which sounds like a lot, but really it flies by. You will be completely fine and used to being in Spain. It all works out. I cannot stress that enough. You will be okay. And number two, spend time with your host family. Even if you can't speak any Spanish, talk to them through Google Translate for the first month. They really want to get to know you. And honestly, I love that I prioritized in the beginning, really establishing that I want to get to know them as much as they want to get to know me and really creating that bond because you're going to live with them. So of course you want to talk to them a little bit. So yeah, that's all. Good luck. I think that this is a great question to leave off on. I think you should choose Spain simply because Spain is the best of the three options. We are right in the heart of the city. So everything you could possibly want or need is within a walking distance from the school. We have a mall within the walking distance, a whole bunch of restaurants, pharmacies, stores, whatever you could possibly want or need, you could walk. And we have some of the most amazing teachers I have ever had in my life. They care about you more as a person than just a number or a passing face in the hallway or an aula central. They really care about you as a person. And we have really awesome host families. I love my host family. I've heard amazing host family experiences. And yeah, I could not imagine my year anywhere else. So yeah, choose Spain and bienvenidos, class of 2024. We're so excited to have you.